Mm-hmm.
I would imagine that if you worked at Tesla or Nvidia, they definitely don't have the 9 to 5 corporate structure.
Mm-hmm.
And, even at my time at Falcon X, it was certainly not a 9 to 5 as it grew, larger. And so I think at the end of the day, it depends both in terms of leadership because culture is set from the top down, but also in terms of, you yourself as an individual and the way you like to work and, how you like to see output measured. And so it depends. It really does. There's definitely, companies that are working 9 to 5. I think they're having a really tough time in this market when, the rise of AI kind of
Mm-hmm.
tends to question a lot of that. And then there are folks who are, putting in 12 plus hours a day. And it's not necessarily even the hours per day. It's really just the output. And are you
Mm-hmm.
the most efficient worker out there that these tools will now help amplify?
I'm going to go back to what you said about the 9 to 5. So no work life balance. No. So I'm getting old. I really want to feel that. Really want to know what that's like. So no, no, we're not heading towards that. No.
I think it depends. I think it depends. Look, one of the things that makes me really proud about our company is over half the company today has children under the age of 5. And so, we really our goal is how do you create a company that has operational excellence and our output is still at a very very high caliber while being able to balance the ability for folks to spend time with their families in a meaningful way, and there's definitely a way to do so. And so I think it really just boils down to you have to hire the right people who can prioritize
Mhm.
balance and context switch so that they can have that work life balance while being able to have operational excellence.
Mhm. So is that you cracking the code? Because you just mentioned that we need to understand how to build this company. So did you crack that code yet? Did you, or you're on your way to build something like that?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think, I don't think you ever crack any codes in life.
Mm-hmm.
I think the whole purpose, and this is more philosophical, but I would say the whole purpose of life is to continue, cracking whatever that code is. And
Mm-hmm.
so, obviously tooling has, changed so much in the last 6 months. And so we are finding ways to become more efficient, faster, more creative,
Mm-hmm.
and be able to leverage those tools and instead of, people hours that you would have to spend. And so I think we're constantly figuring it out, but we're definitely on that journey and it's getting a lot better and more efficient. So it's working, I'd like to think.